Hey bub, this is Eric Wilkerson, sci-fi fantasy illustrator and concept artist. You are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast. I love this show 3000. Excelsior.
Hello everybody, my name is Ian Taylor and welcome to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, brought to you by the Marvel Cards Fan Collective. You can find our two groups on Facebook, details of which are at the end of this podcast, so come check us out. With me is my co-pilot in all things Marvel cards. He just completed his degree in horticulture and now he's got lettuce after his name. It's Norrin Rad.
Good morning, good afternoon, and hello, everybody.
That is a proper dad joke, that is.
That was good, though.
I heard
I
that
liked
one
it.
the other day and I was like, it's kept me going that week, that joke. Yeah, you wouldn't believe
Dad
it.
jokes are shared, for sure.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe the number of times I've used that joke. Hello, everybody, wherever you may be listening. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. Hanging in there. How are you, buddy?
I'm all right. Crazy week. I kind of feel the need to do this at the top because we just had a listen to it before we went live. Eric Wilkerson, this week's intro to the episode. Thank you very, very much, sir, for that awesome slice of audio gold.
For sure.
You can't
amazing.
get better than that. That was
I love it. I love seeing what every artist does with the opening sting too. It's so much fun.
Exactly. And I say to people when I send them the message, I say, you can kind of say just your name and this is the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, or you can go off on one. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So, and some people just can barely do it, because it's not their thing. Other people are like, oh yeah, let me get creative. Some people go into a full recording studio, like the Glee brothers and Nelson.
Yeah, and just go, man.
But
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, the joy of these devices, though, and you can do it anywhere.
You can do it anywhere. Well, I think my favorite part about it is like we're kind of. This is going to sound strange, but we're kind of like archiving everyone's voice who's in the hobby, who's an artist and a creator in the hobby. It's kind of a cool thing to like, because you never, there's not a lot of video promotions. You don't really get a chance to see these creators talk about their work, or only if you're at a convention, you meet somebody. But other than that, you don't get to hear them. It's a pretty cool experience.
No, and I don't, in the UK, we don't have as many cons, I don't think, as you guys have in the States. Right. We certainly don't have a lot of the creators coming over. So for me, this is literally the only way.
Seriously.
In many cases. But Eric, thank you very much for that. Eric's been on a number of Marvel sets. Off the top of my head, I should have looked this up. I've got your website open, sir, so apologies for this. I'm pretty certain that Fleer Ultra X-Men 2018 had some of your work on. And I've definitely seen it elsewhere.
That's really great.
And that you can. I'm just opening Eric's website now, and just the image that's on the header of the homepage is just jaw-droppingly beautiful. So you can find Eric's golden works at ericwilkersonart.com. We'll pop a link to that in the tasting notes for the show, and we'll pop it on our Twitter feed as well. You can also find Eric at Eric Wilkerson Art on Instagram and Facebook. You can see more of his great work. So I'm just having a look on Facebook now. He's in New Jersey. So I said it's interesting. A lot of artists that we talk to and engage with seem to be
East
kind
Coast.
of around that area.
Upper East Coast, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Just coincidence that a lot of the folks
it's usually there or California, funny enough. Coincidentally, I have a couple of them who live near me, which is just another coincidence. But there's a lot of really good artists out there that work on these cards. And so everybody knows, we reach out for these stings and we promote these artists for a multitude of reasons, not only to say as a thank you and to get a chance to hear about them and talk about their great work, but also for the listeners. If you want an AP, an artist proof, a one-of-a-kind commission piece, a lot of these artists are extremely rare to pull out of a box. And, depending on eBay prices and accessibility, getting an AP is a great way to mark an artist's work.
Yeah.
And, every collection should have a few, or if not more than a few. So check them out. They're accessible. We're reaching them just basically through Instagram and Facebook. And, they want to do these pieces. And some of them do have blanks.
They do.
Spanning multiple sets. So
they absolutely do. And hey, a lot of them have got prints of some of their work as well, which is a really nice, affordable way to own some of the art.
And bigger format of the art too. You know, I mean, getting a print of, like, when I saw Tom Fleming, like getting a print of some of those X-Men cards from the Fleer set are fantastic. Matthew got some. I mean, they're extremely affordable, and it's a great piece to put on the wall. It really is.
Exactly. So as ever with all this artists that we intro for you guys, do please go and check out their stuff. Do support them. Tell them we sent you if you're moved to do so. But the main thing is support them, because you know, there is a community of artists that work here on these products, on these beautiful cards, and they've got lives, they've got talent. They've got bills to pay, so you know, the more we support them, the better. I'm just scrolling through Eric's Instagram feed here, and he's done an absolutely awesome Worf from Star Trek: The Next Generation, and there's like progress.
You gotta send me that link. I'm having
yeah, let me just drop it over to you right now.
Yeah, because I want to see it too.
Which always makes for fantastic listening. So let me just send you that.
Of course, us doing things on our computers.
Always. Welcome to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast. We're talking about how to operate our machinery.
His Miles is awesome.
Yeah. Isn't it just wonderful?
Wow.
The artwork on his Instagram feed. So it's really lovely, rich, deep textures.
He did that. I forgot he did that Spider-Man 2099. I love that piece.
Have you seen the Electro?
Yeah, I love that Electro.
Oh, the Spidey. Now, here we go. I do have the Spidey 2099 from Fleer Ultra Spider-Man. I have a signed... so we go back a few episodes. Do you remember me talking about the San Diego Comic-Con promos?
Yes.
Like the little 5x7 cards that Upper Deck gave away at their booth. That were, I think there were 4 in 2017, 4 in 2018. The 2017 one featured Fleer Ultra Spider-Man artwork, and the 2018 one featured Fleer Ultra X-Men, and they gave them away at their booth. That's the only place you could get them. And on certain points during the San Diego Comic-Con weekend, they had various artists signing. So I've got a San Diego Comic-Con EPAC promo card of that Fleer Ultra Spider-Man signed by Eric.
Wow.
He didn't sign it for me. He just happened to sign it because they were, he was there between 2 and 3 on Friday, just signing it.
Wow.
And I think they were free. And so someone obviously put it on eBay. So Eric, I do actually have your signature. I now know what your voice sounds like. So we are now going to impersonate you.
He has a great voice too.
Yeah, he does. So, dude, thank you, Eric. I asked you ages ago to do this, and you were busy. So, thanks for coming back and doing it for us. So, while we're talking about amazing voices, we have our first voicemail.
Yes, it finally happened.
In fact, we've got 2.
Oh wow,
we've got
That's
2.
Exciting.
But I'm going to play the first one first because I'm. In the same way I get whenever I go to the US, I have young ladies saying to me, "Gee, I love your accent." Oh my God.
You do have a good accent.
I do. Thanks. This accent is just a winner for me. I just love it. I'm just going to play it. Let's just go in.
Do it.
Here we go.
Hey guys, Matthew Demars here. Just want to drop by and say how much I enjoy the show and appreciate all the hard work and time you guys put into it. I think talking about the older sets, especially from Rittenhouse, would be an awesome idea. My favorite was definitely the Women of Marvel. The swimsuit set with the water droplets on there I thought was a pretty sweet idea. One thing I'd like to hear on the show would be about all the other character collectors out there. Their stories, how many cards they have in their collection, why they chose that certain character. Anything they'd like to share. Again, guys, really love the show. Keep up the hard work.
I love that, man. That is awesome.
Oh, I love that accent, Matthew. I know
awesome.
I know you. That's kind of nothing to you because it's kind of your voice. You probably don't hear it, but for me, that is just a beautiful. Is that kind of on the southern end of things in America? That accent?
I actually don't. I'm so bad with accents. I mean, I'm from Miami.
Yeah.
And accents are everywhere, so I didn't even realize I had an accent until my wife told me I had an accent. So I'm not quite sure,
yeah,
but I know it sounds sexy. So
anyway,
that's all I need to know.
Matthew, that was awesome. Matthew, I've known Matthew in a kind of not in a biblical sense, but in a kind of hobby sense, for coming on 10 years now. He was on Scoundrel back in the day.
Nice.
And at the time, it was kind of, I think we became friends on Facebook. So I've kind of, been aware, because Facebook shows you what it chooses to show you unless you go in and fiddle with hundreds of different settings, which I accidentally did. And now I see the same 3 people at the top of my newsfeed, and I can't figure out how to get rid of that. Anyway, and I've kind of seen Matthew's, his kids coming along and growing up, and stuff like that. And when that happens, you do kind of drop out the hobby a little bit, and you kind of keep tabs on it. And Matthew's kind of back in the game now. He's active on the groups. He's got some cool stuff. He's into Shanna the She-Devil is his character.
Oh, that's such a good character. Yeah, I know.
It is. It's quite a niche.
His collection's incredible too.
Yeah, it is. So Matthew, thank you for that. I love the fact that we've got a voicemail. It was everything I hoped and dreamed it would be, and so much more.
It's great. Really, the format to follow the example too.
Yeah.
If there is a format for the voice things, that's definitely awesome. I loved the suggestion of what we can talk about. A Rittenhouse episode is coming, so no worries. That is on its way.
Yeah,
episodes. Yeah, that's coming. Actually, it was really funny you mentioned about the swimsuit and the droplets of water. I just saw those inserts for the very first time from our friend Amanda from Graded Gamer. And she had those inserts graded Gem Mint 10. And she had like an Instagram sell, and it was just spectacular. I'd never seen those inserts before. I didn't know those existed.
Such a weirdly gimmicky thing. I've got some here, actually.
I think they look great. I'm really impressed by the effect.
Where are they? Where did I put my doubles box? It's so far away I can't reach it. It was probably for the best. Anyway, I will sit down again. But yeah, that Woman of Marvel set, that was kind of breaking. I think that had just broken around the time that I was getting on Scoundrel. I think that was 2008, 2009, I want to say.
It's a good set. There's really good cards in there.
Set. It is a really good set.
Sketches are awesome too.
Yeah, the sketches are absolutely incredible. I seem to have a plethora of Tess Fowler Black Cats from that set.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Her work, Tess. I don't. Is Tess still active in the card game? I haven't kind of seen.
I don't know. I love her work, but I don't know.
Facebook. I'll have a look.
Yeah, we'll have to check her out.
Well, for a start, I'd love if Tess is still active. Obviously, we'd love to have
her on
an intro on the show, and support your work and just kind of praise you. But the Women of Marvel was such a good set. They did a sequel a number of years later, which I went in quite deep on the sketch side of things for Black Cat. But the first series had already broken, I think, by the time I started on Black Cat sketches. So I was kind of playing catch up.
Yeah, that's kind of like the set for you with Black Cat, right? I mean, you must have gotten some really nice pieces from that set. Yeah, and Dangerous Divas, right?
Yeah, not that many. Dangerous Divas, I bought a case.
That's a good one. That's a good choice.
I bought a case. I only got one Black Cat in it, and it wasn't one that I liked.
Yeah, but, not your aesthetic.
But I sold and or traded the others away. So and I had multiple basin inserts, and I can't remember what happened to them actually. I think one of those things. I know I got a case, but I've got no idea what I did with all the cards, apart from the set.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Weirdly, I didn't buy a binder. I'm not sure why I cheaped out on that, because I should have got
the Dangerous Diva one. That's purple, right? It's a nice binder.
Yeah. The second one, Women of Marvel 2. Hey Matthew, here's your Rittenhouse episode right here.
I know. Sorry, buddy.
It's quite all right. The second one, I remember at the time. That's right. That's why I avoided the second one. Apart from the fact that I was in the middle of relocating across country, the second one had kind of a steampunk thing going on the artwork and the binder.
Yeah. It had the like the bombshell kind of like aesthetic from DC, where the characters were dressed in the steampunk kind of like hat, fishnet stockings. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I remember. I know what that cover looks like.
You're
not into it?
No, not that. But I don't think the set. I don't think that was like that in the set. I think it was just the artwork they used to promote that I had on the binder. I don't think the cards were necessarily like that in the set. I might be wrong.
No, not at all. No, it was just the binder. It was just a look for the binder, I think.
But I don't actually have Women of Marvel 2. Crazily enough, I've got Women of Marvel 1. Although I got it in retrospect. And I think, but the thing I love about Women of Marvel and Dangerous Divas, so they did Women of Marvel, then they did Dangerous Divas, then they did a sequel to both of them a couple of years later. And there's a subset within that continues between subsets called Embrace, and the artwork on that is absolutely top end. It is, as it sounds, it is literally characters embracing. So you've got a Gambit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You've got a Wolverine and someone else. And they're really nicely done. They're beautiful cards. And what I like about them is that Rittenhouse do this thing. I think they still do it, where you can save up the wrappers and send them in, and they give you kind of points. And then once you've got a certain amount of points, you can use them to get redemption cards. So it's proper.
What?
So you can get an extra.
I had no idea.
Yeah, in most Rittenhouse sets, certainly the Marvel time, there was always one of the chase sets had an extra card. So I think E1. I'm just doing this off the top of my head, so it might not be right, but I think Embrace 1 to 9 and then Embrace 10 you got if you submitted the wrappers. You sent them the wrappers and got enough points to do it. But it could be wrappers from any Rittenhouse set.
Oh, wow. That's actually really interesting.
It's actually quite cool. It's actually a cool idea. What the other thing I like about Rittenhouse, and I'm pretty sure they still do this, that you can get free promos. They do free promos on the website. You just got to send in, like, your stamped resist envelope. They did have a way of doing it for international people, if I remember correctly. I can't remember how that worked, but
I'm absolutely in love with that idea. That's awesome.
I really like it, and I have hit up the guy who still runs Rittenhouse on LinkedIn. He hasn't replied, and I need to actually send them a proper email and just say, look, would you guys be happy to, if you're legally allowed to, come on and talk about your Marvel time?
I would love to get those guys on here.
I do.
Guys and gals. I mean, that would be amazing.
They really are. They really are. So
they did such a good job too, and everyone talks so highly about Rittenhouse. I mean, it's one of those things that I discovered in collecting very quickly, luckily, and I'm in love with how they did their sites. I have like printed PDFs of all their sites. Because they archive all their stuff. So if you go on the Rittenhouse website, you can see the archive, and you get pictures of the sketch cards, you get pictures of the artists, not pictures of the artists, but pictures of their 9-page of what their style looked like and ranged from. I mean, they did it right, 100%. I think, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I think there was a point where sell sheets, so the 1 pages usually, that were given out, which basically allowed you to, a dealer to hand it out to people along with a promo maybe, or put it up in a window or something like that. And it was just like an A4 or letter size, I think, in America. Sheet of paper, printed, nice, with the show info, just a little bit of info about what was in the set, when it was available, that kind of thing. When companies kind of eased back from doing those, Rittenhouse still did them, but as PDFs you could download. So when you go to their website, you can actually download a PDF.
That's right.
No longer on the site, then forgive me, but I'm pretty sure it's still there, and you can go to their site.
It is.
Yeah, and if you've got a decent quality printer, you can just print out, a really nice sell sheet, and they actually look really cool if you print them out and have them as like the front. If you've got an empty binder, because Rittenhouse do binders, so you probably wouldn't need to do this with Rittenhouse, but which is another reason why I love them. Thank you, Rittenhouse. They designed their sets for 9-card pages. They gave you binders. They gave you exclusive promos in the binder.
Yeah.
So if you bought a brand new binder from Rittenhouse, it would have 1 9-card sleeve in with a single promo in the middle of it.
Oh, interesting.
Which is like, hats off. So completely thinking about from the collector mentality from the whole way through the design of the set.
All the way through. I mean, they had good people on that.
Really nice.
Yeah.
I think the guy who set it up had worked for. I might be misremembering. I'm sure that he'll correct me. Steve Charendorf. I'm pretty sure he used to work for Skybox or one of the others. So he kind of knew, he's kind of learned over the years the best way to do stuff and the best way to appeal to collectors. So
I would assume.
So hats off to them. I have a feeling they just got the license to the Umbrella Academy.
Oh, they did. I saw that advertisement. Yeah.
So
they're still going strong. They do great. They put out great pieces. Not necessarily Marvel anymore, but great pieces.
Yeah. The Marvel license obviously went back to Upper Deck. The Bond license has gone to Upper Deck. So stiff competition there. But it can't be just a one horse game in town. Do check out House. Do check out their sets. Do support them as a company, because I think the hobby's better with them in it.
Yeah.
Even though
100%
Marvel cards at the moment. So we also, Matthew raised a good point. Other character collectors.
Yeah.
Guys, you're out there, you're listening. We talk to you on the groups, but anyone want to step up with an origin story? Leave us a voicemail, just with a little bit. It doesn't have to be a long one. You can say whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Just giving us a snippet of what you collect, how you got into it, what you love about it. You can do something longer if you want to, or you can just send us something or comment on one of the posts. It'd just be really good to hear more from those guys. I know we've got Iceman collectors, we've got Magneto collectors, we have some mad character collectors.
We got Frank who does Cyclops.
Oh yes.
We got Venom collectors. Got Psylocke collectors.
Yeah. Is there anyone else that might collect anything?
We have our Spider-Man collector.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking, is there anyone who does Surfer?
No, they're in my basement at this point. I think
okay.
Yeah, so we do have someone else who does Surfer in the group, who's a good buddy of mine. His last name's Jordan. Super sweet guy. He's in Minnesota.
Okay.
I know his address, but that's just so I can find his stuff. But that's something else. We'll talk about that.
Time Colossus fan.
From, huge time Colossus fan.
Indonesian group.
Yeah, and that's a great little group too. It's really, well, not little. It's a great group.
Yeah, they've got
good guys in there.
Quite a scene going on there. So at some point, if one of those cats wants to come on and tell us about it, that'd be really interesting, because this is it is a global hobby. I set up the first group when it was Marvel Global Fans, and the word worldwide is still in the title, because it can't be just about where the majority of the cards are made. There's collectors all over the place. We've got New Zealand, we've got Australia, we've got Europe, we've got Indonesia, we've got South America, we've got Canada, which I know is kind of continental US still, but we've got some cats in the UK. They're all over the shop.
I don't know, and I think people really limit themselves. Some groups only do US or whatever the case may be for whatever ridiculous reason. But I think what people don't understand about the cards is that there are so many one-of-ones. There are so limited that it does have to be kind of like a global effort just to hunt things down from a collector's perspective.
Exactly.
And it's really fulfilling. I've made so many friends around the world just based in this hobby. It's really nice. It's one of the best things about it.
Just the two of us.
We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
Well, one day we'll rehearse that. Anyway,
we'll get that.
We'll get that. We got another voicemail. So not content with one voicemail, we got two. Apologies in advance, folks. It is a short one, as I said to the wife on our wedding night. But
wow,
quality. We might have to edit that one out.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to edit that one out.
Exactly. Jose Solares, bless him, left us a cracking voicemail. I'm dropping his name beforehand because the sound quality on this one, no fault of yours, Jose.
No, I'm sure it's the recording.
Whatever reason, it's just come through. Funny. It's 12 seconds of gorgeousness, but I'll just play it.
Do it.
Hello, Ian. Hello, Norm. Thank you for putting together such a great podcast. I hope to keep hearing you guys for a long time to come. Your fan, Jose Solares.
Jose, that's awesome. Thank you.
I love you, brother. You're the best.
Very kind words. Thank you for that. I'm blushing as I speak.
He rocks.
I'm going to use that as a jumping on point for something I've been meaning to talk about for a few weeks. We talked about Grail cards.
We did
a few weeks back. You still have mine.
Yes,
along with most of my collection. But And in a minute, I'm going to give an update on my shipping of my Marvel Beginnings box. But anyway, we'll come on to that because they have moved, people. They have moved. Jose did rise to the challenge, and he told us what his Grail card was, because we always say when we post these things, this is for you guys. What is your Grail card? What have you been after for ages? And so Jose did come out, and I'm just trying to find it here. In response to episode 11, where we talked about the Grail cards. So I challenge people: what's your Grail card? Do you own it? What was the journey to it, or is it still out there?
Out there.
We should drop in the X-Files music at this point.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
I could do that.
We could
maybe.
do 20th Century Fox will sue our ass, but anyway.
Be under a minute.
So, thanks. So Jose commented, thanks for another great episode, guys. Oh, shucks. My Grail card is the Marvel Masterpieces 1996 Beast and Bishop Double Impact card.
Great card.
My favorite X-Man is Beast, and my favorite painter is Julie Bell. Julie is the very, very first voice you ever heard on the first episode of Marvel Card Collectors podcast. So we're deeply indebted to you, Julie.
I love her work so much.
I won't name my firstborn after you because my 4-year-old might have an issue with that, but I will name my secondborn after you. How's that?
I'll name my next poodle after her.
Go for it.
That's what I'll do.
Hopefully one day I'll find it for a price I can afford. So he did actually then find it and posted a follow-up post on the group, which was great. So that's how long I've been meaning to talk about this. I haven't got that post open with me, but he pretty much said something to the effect of, I found it and I'm kind of done for now on the collecting. He's kind of until he regroups and maybe figures something else he's after. But it's nice that
the group did that.
Yeah, but also that's an interesting concept for me. That sense of a collector. Yeah, I'm kind of used to operating from the mindset that collectors will then find something else to go after, and then something else, or something new will be released. So it's a never-ending story. This is the musical episode.
Yeah, this is it.
Do you remember Buffy did Buffy?
Buffy. Hell yeah, Buffy did one.
Buffy did a musical episode. Angel did an episode.
Angel. You know what? We should do a live show where we watch an episode and talk about cards. Oh, right. Let's do it.
Seriously, that's a really good idea.
Right?
We can do a live watch and record.
A live watch and we talk about cards.
Yeah, and people can watch along with it.
Okay. When you have a free weekend, that's what we're doing. Do not forget. That's a big one.
No, I won't forget. I won't forget. But I love the concept of a collector actually saying, no, I'm kind of done. That was what I was going after. I'm just going to enjoy that. I'm just going to take a moment.
I say that all the time. It's never true, but I want to believe it, to be honest.
Most people do.
I've kind of said that with my Silver Surfer sketch card collection. Like, I've gone through many phases where I was like, I'm going to collect everything I see. I'm going to collect my top 25. I have an artist list. I've done pretty well, but it's nice. That's a really comforting feeling that one day I could live that fantasy and be like, you know what? I got it all. I'm good now.
Exactly.
Sounds like the ending of a really cool card collecting movie, if that would exist.
It's like the ending of Gone with the Wind. The music swells and
right, and I'm dancing on the valley.
Exactly,
in the valley.
Exactly,
really, on the hilltop. Yeah.
So Jose, thanks for that. Jose's always putting really nice comments on after.
He's so much fun.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
As we record, we haven't yet dropped last week's episode, which was the one with Kevin St. Jack. Kevin, thank you, Kevin, for coming on as a guest. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that.
I had a lot of fun. It was a good talk too.
And we are going to do that again.
Yeah.
What I wanted to do was just let that sit for a while, just so that people could hear it, and maybe see if we get any feedback off it, any questions, and then we can kind of dive into part two. Part two, I kind of want to think about the structure of it a little bit, because part 2 is going to be, we're going to be going on to talk about the Rittenhouse era in terms of the sketch cards specifically.
That'd be awesome.
So it would, but it's a vast vast era. They've released a lot of sets, so I think we should maybe try and plot that one out a little bit before we dive in. So the reason I mentioned Kevin is because there is another Kevin. Sorry, Kevin, Jack, but you are not the only Kevin.
There's 2 Kevins.
You sitting comfortably, Norrin? You sitting comfortably?
Oh, I'm ready.
Then I shall begin. So, now this is an interesting one. This was going to be a story about a new listener from EPAX, and I just realised the sun is shining in a certain way that I look angelic again.
Very angelic.
That's weird the way that does that on the iPhone camera. I can see why as well. Sorry, bear with me, folks. I'm just going to move my iPad so that no one can see my face. There we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. You can see me now.
Gorgeous.
So, I had a trade started on EPAC. Actually, it took a while before it became a trade because the guy approached me on messages weeks ago and said, "Oh yeah, would you be cool with doing the?" Because I post on the forum on EPAC and say, "Oh, I'm after these at the moment." He said, "Oh, I've got a couple. I'm not particularly after anything that you've got, but there's a few things there I'd like and I can use, and I just want to help you out." I thought, well, that's really nice. So we went back and forth, and that one of the cards was pending in another trade, and I was just talking about it, and so we just got chatting, and I said that we did the group and we did the podcast, and he hadn't heard about that, and he's not really a social media user.
Yeah.
We actually then did get the trade going. He had some issues with EPAC being lagging when he was going to do it, so he had to come back the following day. Anyway, he then drops me this message about 2 weeks back. On a side note, finally got around to looking up your podcast, and I have it queued up. I've listened to a total of 7 seconds on the first episode, and it's introduced by Julie Bell. Was that the Julie Bell?
Kevin.
So at this point, I didn't know the guy's name was Kevin, so I just know him by his EPAX handle.
Mm-hmm.
He was coming back saying, "I'm going to listen to all of them before asking, have you guys ever questions about guests?" But he's got some questions up in sleeves. So he goes, "I've been meaning to get into podcasts, so I'm pretty sure this is going to be my gateway show." So which is cool. And then he goes on to be very complimentary about the logo efforts that you did on the podcast. So thank you for that. And then we got chatting, and then he said, "Well, I've actually got an Instagram account which I've only recently set up." So I was like, "Okay." So I log into my Black Cat Collector Instagram, and it's the first time I've logged into it for a few weeks. Simply because I've been so busy with stuff, and we set up the Twitter feed, and I knew that was going to be it's quite difficult doing all this original content for all these different channels that you have.
Yeah, you're man on a mission.
Yeah, you end up running around in crazy circles. So I log in, and there's a message in my in fact there's about 4 messages from different people. One of them's a spam one from a girl wanting me to show her
oh my God, that's been happening to me too. What is that?
Had a few of those. Yeah, I just block them and report them to Instagram.
Me too.
But yeah, they keep happening. I mean, I don't believe I know any of them, but
I've made some really good friends that way. But, yeah.
You better.
No, bad show.
Anyway, so and then we're chatting, and then it turns out, okay, he's on Instagram, and he didn't realize that because he knows you on Instagram by your real name. He didn't know that you were the same guy who did the podcast. Okay.
No, he did it. So yeah. So actually, yeah.
I know you've got your side of this. So
yeah,
I'll get to that. So I log on to Instagram, and I see a message there. And he goes, "Oh yes, hi, it's Kevin from." In fact, I'm just logging on here, and I think I've got more messages from him. That's cray. No, I haven't. They're just likes on my Instagram. Anyway, turns out it's his Instagram account is I Eat Cards. Now, I looked at it, I thought, that sounds familiar. And I remember his profile name from Scoundrel. So this is one of the cats from Scoundrel who's been in the game for an awfully long time. He doesn't really...
Awfully long time.
He has barely a toe in the social media world, so he's not in the groups. So this is why, this is one of these guys, and he is... by his own admission, actually, because he said so on this message feed, he's very much falls into that category of a black hole collector, because he's one of the guys who's been buying these sketches for years and years and years. And because he doesn't do much social media, no one really kind of sees them again. So now the weird thing is, you're going to find this absolutely hilarious. Maybe you won't. I don't know. It's not that funny. His Instagram handle is I Eat Cards, and it's all lowercase because that's what Instagram does. On Scoundrel, for some reason, the I at the beginning was capitalized. So for the longest time, I thought it was Leaked Cards, L-E-A-T.
That's actually really funny.
It's just how to mull your brand. Anyway, Kevin, I promised I'd give him a shout out. We got into a bit of a card off yesterday where I was sending him pictures of my cats on Instagram with this massive message trail, and he's kind of gone into his origin stories a little bit, and I just promised Kevin, I'd give you a shout out on the podcast because the guy's a dude. But literally, he went off, and there were massive pauses, and I thought, because I'm talking to him at like 10, 11 a.m. in the UK, it's quite late or early morning wherever he is. I think he's not East Coast. I think he's further west than you.
So here's the thing. So here's the thing that's about to blow your mind. I've talked about him on the show before. Remember the Mystique I got, the Alex Margot?
Oh, the Alex Magno one. Yes.
Magno.
Yes.
So This is about to blow your mind. I've been after that Mystique for months, maybe over months, maybe almost a year.
Wow.
This guy, Kevin, I Eat Cards, who's a god, is on sketchcollectors.com.
Or Elite Cards.
Or Elite Cards. Is on sketchcollectors.com. He is one of these collectors who has one of the most massive sketch card sets collections you've ever seen.
Yeah. Yep.
And I've been after him for years. I've been talking to him. I've been trying to reach him. And then suddenly something clicked and we got a chance to really talk. I asked him about the Mystique because I found him through Blowout, because he doesn't check his sketch collectors because he wasn't on that site quite often.
Mm-hmm.
We end up talking. We're having a nice conversation. Honestly, one of the best, if not the best people I've ever dealt with buying a card from, ever. He has this stuff labeled. He knows what prices he bought it for. He's very ingenious with how he organizes and collects. It's extremely impressive. Well, we talk almost every other day, but he is on a different so he either works really late or we're just such different time zones that when I wake up, I see his messages. And before I go to bed, I message him. And it's just every day we have like 12 hours between us, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Also, he's extremely busy. So I've been knowing this guy for some time now. I've been trying to connect with him and the reason he called himself a black hole collector is because we spoke about it. And I told him, I was like, man, you're, one of these people I never see around. You should have an Instagram and talk to us, where we have a lot of conversations. Well, he messaged me and he was like, man, I just heard this great Marvel podcast. It's pretty crazy. Like, it's really good what these guys are doing. Have you heard of it? As he's messaging me on Instagram. And we've been talking. He had no idea that I was Norrin Rat on there. And it was just full circle. And he's just such a swell guy. He really is.
Oh, that's
really cool.
That's really hilarious.
And
he's hilarious.
He's one of the OGs. Like, he's from Scoundrel.
Yeah.
He's been in the game for a long time. Probably just as long as our second Kevin.
No, they'll always say there's Kevin number one. That's always Kevin's
number
Jack.
one. Kevin's like Jack.
Yeah.
Love it.
This is Kevin number two.
Kevin number two, I Eat Cards. I love I Eat Cards too. That's such a good handle.
It is a good handle. I'm so glad I'm reading it right after a decade of not. But the interesting thing is, what I was going to actually touches quite nicely on what you just said. So he kept disappearing and coming back and disappearing and coming back. And each time he came back, he'd show me a photo of a box like neatly rowed, all top loaders, and on the top he'd have pulled out all the surfers and cats from each of that box. So, and he's got up to random box number 4, had 2 hits, still no surfers.
Yep.
And he showed me these 2 black cat cards.
No, he's like it's
like box number 4.
Oh
and
man,
these aren't
this
small
guy,
boxes.
Okay, okay. You know what? I gotta blow your mind real quick. Okay, so here's the thing about sketchcollectors.com. It's one of those places where you don't get to see certain collectors because certain collectors have been collecting since 1998 and they were in their 20s or 30s and they've been in the sketch card game for a while. So they have collections that are kind of just like sitting there and they're in their collection. Well, the only time they posted, the only form of social media they ever posted in terms of the pictures of the cards was on Sketch Collectors.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you can go hunting for cards. And you and I talked about hunting for cards, and you were like, I don't look for cards that other people have because I don't want to get disappointed by the nose. I'm a glutton for punishment, so I've been okay with people telling me no constantly.
Yeah.
But I'm about to blow your mind. You ready?
Go on.
Sketches. And I think, and let me just put Marvel only. Let's see what happens there. Okay. Sketch-wise, oh, Jesus. Okay.
So you are on sketchcollectors.com.
I'm on sketchcollectors.com. I'm looking at I Eat Cards or Elite Cards, whatever you want to call it. And he has 1,460 sketch cards from Marvel.
Oh, stop it.
I'm not kidding. That's his number.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, this guy's a dude.
And they're quality. It's not necessarily all quantity.
Okay, you have it's quality. This guy has taste. He always picks up nice pieces.
He's just he's just sent me like this morning a picture of because I sent him one of my very few Marvel Premiere, which we'll come on to in a moment. I sent him a picture of my Mike S. Miller double panel.
Oh, yeah.
That I just put on Instagram this morning. Yeah, well, I took the photo to show Kevin number 2.
Oh,
and then I was like, you know what? I've been sadly neglecting my Black Cat Collector Instagram, so I threw it on there as well. But he, in response, pulled out a Nightcrawler, 1, 2, 3, 4 panel.
Oh,
that's just the most incredible Nightcrawler, and it's the same character both sides because some of these double more panel artists do different characters on each side, and that's actually a challenge for me because if I do see a black cat on one side and it's got something else on the other side, it might turn me off from buying it.
Yeah.
In fact, it will turn me off from buying it. Or if it's black cat only on one side and black cat with someone else on the other side, that'll put me off buying it. Which is
interesting.
I know it's self-limiting, but it's just my taste, you know.
You got it. Yeah, I understand that.
Just what I'm after. But yeah, he's got some crazy stuff. So Kevin number 2.
He also helped me get, which I'm so grateful for. Speaking of Grail cards, trying to make it full circle.
Yeah.
I had a Grail card that was in someone else's massive collection. Jeff Fenwick, our boy Jeff. He had this Nova, Heralds of Galactus Nova.
Oh yes.
Frankie Ray, that I was just obsessed with. It's Chow from Fantastic Four Archive set.
Okay.
And I've been obsessed with this. No, I have no joke, years now. At least 2 years, messaging Fenwick to see if he'd ever trade it. Fenwick needed 1 card left for his Fantastic Four Archive full artist sketch set. A sketch from every artist. He only needed 1. My man Kevin had it. And he had 2.
Oh.
So it's just complete luck. This happened looking for a card for 2 years. And within 1 week, I was able to work out the deal in order to get it from Jeff, who very kindly decided to give it up because he had 2 Novas from the same artist, and he was okay with me getting the one I wanted.
Gotcha.
It was the most coincidental, whether that's word or not. It was the most luckiest thing ever. It was insane. It was absolutely perfect. Happened within a week after 2 years of searching. It's just insane.
It's absolutely
an insane
bonkers.
trade. Yeah, it was a crazy trade. It was just lucky all around.
So Kevin number 2, the reason I do that numbering is I'm a huge fan of, and there are elements of this podcast that I've kind of directly lifted in terms of how we do certain things. I'm a huge fan of Tell 'em Steve Dave. Now, if anyone listening knows Kevin Smith's View Askew Universe, they'll know, they'll probably know about Smodcast, which is Kevin Smith's podcast he started over 10 years ago with Scott Mosier. The second podcast on that, what eventually became the Smodcast Network, was Tell 'em Steve Dave, which is basically Walt Flanagan, Brian Johnson, who were Kevin Smith's school friends, who were in his first movie. I think they were in Clark's. No, Walt Flanagan was in Clark's. Don't think Brian Johnson was, but both of them were in Mallrats. And the line comes from the one little scene. It's literally a cameo where something's happening, and one of the characters says, "Tell him, Steve Dave," like this, and that's where they take the title from. And the other guy is Brian Quinn, who is in Impractical Jokers. So that's, anyway, I'm a huge fan of theirs. Absolutely love their podcast. They're 400 and change episodes in, plus all the specials, plus all the bonus pods, plus all the Patreon stuff that they do. Absolutely incredible. But they have a recurring thing where they've met various Franks over the years. So one of the most active ones is Frank 5. So they number them.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. So they've got Kevin 1, they've got Frank 1, Frank 2, Frank 3. They've actually, that one of them they haven't heard from so long, and they've met a Frank who would be Frank 6. So they've actually kicked out the earlier guy and given themselves a new Frank number 2, I think, something like that. It's just crazy. So anyway, so we've now got, so that I'm pinching something else from the Tell 'em Steve Dave and Smodcast canon of podcasting. It's we now have Kevin's. We have Kevin 1 and Kevin 2. Well. So there you go. I also, and this is an Instagram thing, we have another new listener, someone who's maybe about 8-9 episodes ahead of us, who's recently started a podcast as well. Called Rebel Base Card. And that is a Star Wars cards podcast.
Yeah. No way.
What a brilliant play on words. Rebel Base Card.
Yeah, damn it.
Isn't that brilliant? Isn't it really good? And the
it's really smart.
It's the slogan that goes with, I can't find it now, bear with me. He's just done a box break actually, which I think is really good. But they've got a lovely little logo. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head. Greg, here we go. Greg McLaughlin. He's also on Anchor. Bizarrely, I've just spotted this for the first time. I've literally just spotted this.
Oh wow.
But I've just started following. I've just subscribed to him on iTunes, and I haven't had a chance to listen yet because it only happened yesterday. But I'm just going to, anyone into, not, obviously I want you to keep on listening to us, but I'm more than happy to pimp someone else who's also in the game. But the slogan on the logo is "Great pull, kid."
That's freaking great.
Isn't that brilliant?
That's brilliant.
Because I can just, great pull, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home. It's such a perfect.
Damn, that was really good.
I know.
I'm so impressed.
and I'm looking at his logo. It's just great. So I'm looking forward to giving that a listen. He is, how many episodes is he in? Come on, iTunes, don't let me down. I wish iTunes would do things in alphabetical order when it lists the shows.
I don't. Yeah, why is that?
It's bizarre.
Not the best.
It's really annoying. They're all over the place. Here we go.
I can't seem to figure that one out. Right.
So yeah, Greg McLaughlin is his name. The Rebel Base Card podcast. Great pool kid. I love it. Episode 22 has just dropped, and he's been going since March.
How long is each episode for him?
His last one was an hour and 24. So.
Solid. Same thing as ours. That's
probably
awesome.
that same. Yeah. We're coming in about an hour and 15, hour and 30 now, which is fine. So believe it or not, we do structure it, although it is stream of consciousness, but we don't kind of limit ourselves in that way because we like to have a conversation. So, it's nice to talk. It's good to talk, as Bob Hoskins said. So shout out to Rebel Base Card. He said he was going to give us a shout out on his episode. I don't mind if he does or he doesn't. It'd be lovely if he does, but it's always great to support other people in the hobby, be they Marvel or non-focused. I had a list today of stuff, and we're rattling through them because there's been a lot going on. My next thing was in the Twitter account world. I mentioned that we set up a new Twitter account. So on Facebook and on Twitter, we are at the MCC Pod. As I'm looking at sort of accounts to follow, because if you follow more people, they see who you are, and hopefully you get some follows back, and you kind of almost build your own network. A couple of interesting Twitter feeds caught my eye, and I just kind of wanted to talk about them with you, just so that because I find this deeply intriguing what these guys do.
Sure.
The most recent one, actually, this wasn't what I was going to talk about, but Chris Kersey, I know you've mentioned, who's the guy who owns and administers sketchcollectors.com.
Yeah.
I know you've spoken to him, and we're hoping, Chris.
Very nice guy.
Good evening, Chris. I'm hoping we can have him on soon. I think you said he was up for it.
Yeah, he's definitely up for it.
Yep.
I know he's running around, but hopefully that can happen in the next couple of weeks.
Aren't we all, mate? Aren't we all?
I know.
I'm all over the place at the moment, but in a good way. So these two accounts I found really intriguing. Now, bearing in mind, there is a whole side of card collecting. In fact, possibly the majority of card collecting is sports. So I think both of these kind of come from that angle. It's certainly a much older side of it, because baseball cards go back decades.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm talking like a long time.
Yeah.
These two accounts I thought were really interesting, and I have tweeted one of them, but I haven't heard back yet, which is interesting. But they're probably busy, or maybe they're in the maybe there's not that many of them. They're both kind of charity based, and one of them is Signatures for Soldiers, which I love this. And it's basically it's a registered charity that helps disabled military veterans, part of the military missions and actions, and they are getting cards that have been signed, be it non-signed or be it pack inserted, or cards that have been signed later by sports people majoritively, and getting them into the hands of disabled vets, military vets.
That's really nice.
I just thought it's a really nice thing, and it's got over 4,000 followers. They've clearly been going for quite a while, and I just thought it was a really, really cool thing. They've got a nice little logo with dog tags going on. I love it. It's a really cool idea. That was a nice one, but the one that really intrigued me is called Kidority Cards. So it's at Kidority Cards, and that's KIDORITY, and then cards with a K, so KARDS. A place where we make the kids the priority of the hobby. We send PC cards to the kids. So basically, from what one gather is basically, if you've got, I mean, you can donate cards to these guys, and what they do is they sell a very small amount on their website, and you can arrange for kids to be sent like 60 to 80 cards, random cards. You can go on.
What a great thing to do with your bulk.
I thought that was really, really sweet.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is baseball. That's the thing. So I've reached out to them.
Yeah.
Because I know I've got a lot of spares that I'm maybe not going to do anything with. We know the people who bust cases have got lots lying around. And yeah, you can keep them for your own, for your own sort of end and efforts, and that's fine. No one's forcing you to do anything with them. But I'd like to think, and this is touching on a few episodes back where I said I gave a whole box of cards to a 5-year-old boy, and waved goodbye to them, and I haven't had any feedback since as to whether he really liked them or whether he destroyed them. My money's on the latter, but I like to think he thinks back to that and maybe still has some of them, and maybe it'll bring him into the hobby someday. I love the fact that these kids are being sent cards. It's really nice.
Yeah. It's really nice. I think it's great. I think it's a really nice. I think it's a great thing to do too, and also it's beneficial for the hobby too. I mean, it's beneficial for the kids, so that's what matters first. But it also is something where, I can't tell you how impactful it was. Obviously we have a podcast about it, but in the 90s when I was getting cards for Marvel, seeing the characters and learning about the characters and reading their bios and looking at the power ratings and power meters and the cool art, definitely grew my aesthetic into what my career is now.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
So I kind of want to find out a little bit more about them, because I've got absolutely no issue whatsoever with paying something forward in some way. But it's just, I think why I'm mentioning it is I wasn't aware that these things existed.
Yeah, that's really cool.
The more that's the thing about the hobby, is that it can be quite inward looking, and people kind of focus on what they're doing and what they're after and stuff like that. And unless you reach out and kind of think and look openly at what other areas of the hobby are doing, be they non-sports or sports, or
kind of funny, because that kind of brings up something I was going to tell you about that I posted on Facebook. There's this so my friend got me looking at Magic the Gathering cards.
The artwork's incredible.
I mean, it's insane how beautiful that artwork is. And it's really fun. It's really, really cool. Finally learned how to play the game, so that's really fun too. Well, funny enough, I was just searching on YouTube for box breaks for Marvel Premiere 2019, which we'll talk about in a second. And I came across Vintage MTG, which is Vintage Magic the Gathering. Mm-hmm. And they have a really cool site. They got a good presence on Instagram, and they really talk about heavily the investing side of Magic the Gathering cards, like the older sets.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fascinating to hear them talk about the investment side, because I kind of enjoy all that. Anyway, they were doing a box break of 2016 Marvel Masterpiece.
Oh, right, yes. I know
and
what
the
you're going to
craziest
say
thing
now.
was, right, yeah. So they pulled a Silver Surfer Legendary Orange. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I've never seen one pulled on YouTube before or anywhere. That's really awesome. 04 of 99, and it's exactly the card I have. So when I bought my card, I bought it from them on eBay.
You saw your baby being born.
I saw my baby being pulled into the world, fresh from a pack. And it was pretty crazy. Funny, I sent them a message. They haven't gotten back to me, but I thought that was, what a small world for this hobby.
That's hilarious that comes around.
It was so funny. It was just really funny. Couldn't believe it.
I love it.
Yeah, sorry. And then sorry about that. Go ahead.
That's all right. No,
really cool how all these groups are there.
Yeah, the last thing I was going to say about Kidorati cards before they respond, and I can maybe find out a little bit more about them, is the two hashtags on their profile. I love these. Next Generation of Collectors is the first one. And the second one kind of makes me well up a little bit, because I'm a softie. Making Kids' Days Through Mail Days.
Aw,
isn't that nice?
That's really nice.
And I was kind of nailed it. I love the concept of it. And if there's any way that we can, build up their non-sports and Marvel side of things for anyone willing to do so, and I'm going to find out more information, and I'll throw it back to you guys on the podcast. And do, by all means, go and check them out. I'll drop a link in anyway, because people can go and contact them themselves if they choose to. So I think that's absolutely cracking thing to get involved with. So hats off for that.
I'd love to be a part of that. That sounds fantastic.
We are going to talk about Premiere, but before we're going to talk about
I wasn't sure.
We are, although we've covered so many topics this week. I love it.
We did well.
You had something arrive in the mail.
Yes.
Tell me this story, sir. Tell me this story.
So there's these amazing eBay seller from Australia, who I'm obsessed with. His name is Andrew. I'm gonna have to find out what his eBay name is, because you should check it out. They have tons of Marvel Beginnings autographs on sale right now, and they have sketch cards, and it's one of those collectors where you're like, one of those sellers where you're like, oh my god, how did they pull this thing? It's so rare, and you never see it anymore. So it's really fascinating. I'm just gonna get his name up, because I do want to.
No, you keep talking. I'll do it. You keep talking. I'll do it.
I got it. A as an apple, HLUM. His name is Andrew. 1979_5. That's his eBay ID number. 100% feedback. I've never had a problem with them. They're fantastic. So I bought my Stan Lee Marvel Beginnings Silver Surfer breakthrough cover autograph,
and that's which is one that we talked about recently and put on the tasting notes. Yeah,
huge grail for me. Well, not a week later, they ended up having the Stan Lee Fantastic Four and 40 issue 48 breakthrough. So both Stan Lee autos I was getting in the mail.
From Marvel Beginnings, this is.
From Marvel Beginnings. Mm-hmm. Marvel Beginnings Series 2. And they had it. I bought it. Done. To no fault of their own, they bought a massive collection of autographed Marvel Beginning cards. This one happened to have a ding on a corner. So when the moment it came in the mail, I unpacked it, looked at it, and there's this ding on the card, which, to their credit, there was still a corner, but you could tell that it was dinged up. Not from the packaging. They admitted that, they didn't see it. I didn't see it either in the pictures, but it was there, and because they had some other pictures that they took.
Yeah.
And they gave me a refund, and everything was okay.
Oh.
I know, they're the best. It was heartbreaking for it to happen because it's such a rare card, but also it's kind of a cool thing to bring up to listeners because, what happens when you get that one of one, or you get that extremely rare card that never comes up, and there is some kind of damage to it.
Yeah.
It's rough. Do you keep it? Do you not keep it? The only reason I didn't keep it is because I have the other one. And I was like, I can't spend as much money as on both of them and have one be dinged up. Just because.
Oh, so you've sent it back?
I did. I know.
Ah, right.
I know. So I did send it back. I got a refund completely.
Okay.
They were super speedy about it. They, didn't charge me the shipping either. I mean, they're just fantastic people to talk to and to work with. And they're super. I told them what I look for, so they always give me a heads up.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, no, they're great. I couldn't be more happy with them. I couldn't be more happy.
That's good.
But it was tough. It was a tough decision. I'm sure our listeners have had the same kind of complication where you've gotten something that you're never going to find again, but there's that little piece of damage. For me, and this is a personal preference, no judgment whatsoever, I can't see past that stuff. It really gets in my head. I wish it wasn't that way because it wouldn't be such a headache for me for certain things, but it just stays in my head. Any little imperfection really just gets in my head. It bugs the hell out of me.
That's why that's what makes you, and it's why I always try and look nice for you on the podcast. But
but you do always put together, always looking good, baby.
Bless you. For me,
if I could put you in a penny sleeve and a top loader, I would.
Hey, many have tried. They don't make point thickness for me. I'm a chunky guy. If it were me, I'd have kept it.
I know.
So if they end up putting it back on sale at a cheaper price, I might
Please.
pick it up.
I should have told you. I'm such an idiot. I should have told you.
I'm beyond poor this month.
Okay.
For various reasons.
I'm sure they will, though. I mean, it's a great card. People should have it in their collection.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, one man's meat is another man's poison, I think is the expression.
Yeah.
But oh man, that sucks that it wasn't quite, because the odds of that one coming up again. I mean, listen, you're patient. It will come up.
I'm not going anywhere. It'll be here. It's something else. It will pop up again. I'm not worried about. Honestly, of the two, I love the first appearance of the Surfer is Fantastic Four number 48. But the cover compared to Silver Surfer,
is it issue 50?
Issue 50. That would have been amazing.
What issue? What front cover?
It was 48. It was with the Watcher pointing up at the sky.
That's right. That's one.
And it's a red backdrop, and the Fantastic Four are in the background.
But what's the one you have?
I had the Silver Surfer number 1.
Ah, right. Okay. For some reason, I thought you had. I thought yours was 50? Fantastic 450.
No. I have Silver Surfer number 1, and here's the thing. So this is what I outweighed. Silver Surfer number 1 breakthrough cover. That's from Series 1. Signed by Stan Lee.
Yes.
I mean, that's Silver Surfer featured on the card and Stan Lee's auto. That came in perfect shape. There's no not having that. Even if that was damaged, I think I would have to keep it. Yeah, that could never be done. I was getting the Fantastic Four 48, not only because it's first appearance, but more of a completionist type of thing, which is what I'm doing with my collection. And it just didn't have the Surfer featured on there, and it was not. It's not as important to me personally. So if I could save money off of that card, I mean, since it was damaged, obviously, save money off of that card, I can go ham on something else that I might be wanting. I don't know. So I don't know. I had to make a judgment call there, but no regrets. Cool. No regrets.
I'll get it completely.
Yeah.
Speaking of Marvel Beginnings, I promised you an update on my shipment. So
yes.
After this is like the saga. This is Forget the Skywalker saga. So where are we? It is right. Break out the trumpets. It has arrived in the UK.
What?
It has finally arrived in the UK. It was dispatched to the UK on the 7th of September. Arrived in the UK on the 13th. So that's that was a couple of days ago now. And then it says the dreaded lines awaiting customs clearance.
Oh, I actually have a.
It's currently with the customs authorities and is being assessed for import duties and local taxes. These will be notified to the addressee and usually need to be paid prior to the parcel being delivered. There's no usually. I'll basically have to pay to get those boxes. So it is what it is. It is, however, really annoying. It's one of the things about buying in boxes, especially from overseas, from a reputable business who, that I wouldn't even dream of asking them to write a lower value on the customs slip. That's that. If you want to do that as a private collector, that's fair enough. But from a business, most of them won't do it. So anyway, they're in the UK though, so they are a mere 108 miles away from Mill, however far it is to Heathrow Airport.
You're going to do a live box break, right, my friend?
Yes. I will hold them until such time as I can do it. At the very least, I will video it and put it online. Whether I do it as a live thing, I don't know. So before we go on to Premiere, and we will talk about Premiere, we'll run out of episode and we won't have talked about Premiere. I know exactly what will happen. So first of all, I'm going to hold up this to you. Now, I know you've seen this on the group, but I wanted to put it on the podcast.
Yeah.
You remember the Amazing Spider-Mans with the hologram panels in the covers?
Yes.
We talked about. So you've seen these?
Love
okay.
It.
So that is, I'm holding up for those, and it's everyone who can't see this. It's issue 365 of Amazing Spider-Man, supersized 30th anniversary issue from 1992. And it's got a hologram in the middle. It's a rather nice hologram. Now, it's a bigger than trading card size hologram. I'm not even sure what dimensions that is. Maybe 4 inches by 6.
Probably closer to the Rittenhouse uncut sketch cards.
Yeah, it's not 5 by 7. It's not quite that big. It's kind of between the two. Anyway,
okay.
So when I was looking online for, there is an X-Men hologram set that you can buy that's kind of framed in a cardboard.
Yes, I've seen it. A lot of people have been getting those. They're
exactly.
Nice.
And those are the holograms that I think we talked about on a previous episode from the front covers of the Fatal Attraction storyline.
Yes.
That was in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, those holograms were trading card size. These aren't. So when I see the uncut sheet online, not an uncut sheet, sorry. When I see a collection of those holograms, like in a cardboard frame, in a similar way, I'm quite surprised when it gets through the mail and it's this big.
Whoa!
The size of it. I can't even get it full in the camera lens.
Is that like 11 by 17 paper?
Oh, it's card. This is thick.
Oh God!
Yeah, it's and it is officially produced 30th anniversary hologram set, and it's got all 4 of the holograms mounted in it, which doesn't, because it's still in its cellophane, so that's why you can't see the hologram.
Looks good though. I mean, it looks like a nice piece.
So in here you have the hologram that was on the front of Amazing Spider-Man 365, the one that was on the front cover of Web of Spider-Man 90, the one that was on the cover of Spider-Man 26, I want to say, and Spec Spider-Man, I'm going to say 190, but I'm pretty sure I've got those issue numbers wrong. Anyway, it's those holograms all in one frame. And on the back, Mark Bagley artwork. Isn't that beautiful?
That's a great piece, Ian.
It is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really nice.
And it's really sweet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to frame it.
Hell yeah.
I think with 1, 2, 3, 4 comics around it, 2 on each side. It's going to be a big frame, but that is actually a double copy. I've bought a double copy of each of those issues specifically to frame.
Oh, wow.
So I already had them ready to frame, but this is the bit that goes in the middle.
I am so jealous, man. That's a great idea.
You can get signed ones by Stan.
Oh, wow.
Needless to say, I think there's only 1 or 2 of those on eBay, and they were like $400. But you can get signed ones in the same way you can get Jim Lee signed ones of the X-Men.
I've seen those. Yeah, I've seen both of those. Nice.
And there seem to be more of those available, and much as Jim Lee is iconic, he's not Stan, so they go for a little bit less. But
yeah, I mean that happens.
There are. I think there are maybe 5,000 of the Jim Lee signed ones. Because back in the day, these people would sign a lot. I don't think Stan signed as many of those, but I may be wrong. So anyway, I just wanted to show you those because I thought.
Wow, what year was that in?
That would be 92.
Wow, 92.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because Spidey's 30th anniversary was 92. And then finally, before we talk about Premiere, I'm sending you some pictures of what we're about to talk about, and I didn't want to send these to you before, as I wanted your live reaction to them. I've discovered something that I didn't know existed. Well, I kind of knew existed, but I didn't know they existed. And these I've actually realized since I've referenced before a website called JB's Ultimate Card Collection and Web Store, which is Spidey's cards. And on his website, he's got all of the obscure stuff, like all of the really stuff you've heard about but haven't seen.
Yeah.
So what I've just sent you is a link to a trading card set
that art is
that came with a UK reprint title of Spider-Man. Okay, so the series was called Exploits of Spider-Man, and it was a large format. When I say a large format, it was. I'm just reaching over to try and find it. Here we go. So it was probably. It's that size. So if I'm holding up that, then I'll hold up regular American comic book size. So you can see it's just a bit bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's kind of magazine. So it's a magazine reprint of Spider-Man. And it was put out by Marvel UK for about 30 issues between 92 and 94. And that's when Marvel UK went, and then Panini started putting out stuff. So that was kind of the last thing that Marvel UK, one of the last things that Marvel UK did. And on the front cover of issues 1, 2, and 3, you got a little pack of 4 trading cards. So I've just sent you pictures of the set of 12 trading cards that came with this comic reprint magazine.
Wow.
So basically, in the first issue, you got cards, and this is going. I'll come back to the numbering in a moment. You got cards 13 through 16, and of course, what's card 16?
Card 16.
I'm holding it up.
Oh, Black Cat.
Black Cat.
Sorry, I was looking at the picture you sent me.
That's quite all right. So this is a Black Cat card I've never seen. I never knew it existed.
Look at the colors on that. That's just so vibrant.
Wonderful. And the back, it's got, it's really nicely produced.
You got a great copy too, because that's all pure white. That's beautiful.
Yeah, they're nice. They're all really nice like that. Someone's looked after these. And I think because I've got the Exploits Spider-Man run, but I bought them used, and I've seen on the front it said free trading cards, but it kind of never really occurred to me to look at them.
Yeah.
Or to look for them. And then I saw someone selling a set of all 12. I say all 12, even though the numbering started with 13. But they are cards 13 through 24, 24 being Spider-Man. And it is Marvel Comics UK is the logo in the bottom corner. So it is a UK set.
Oh, UK instead of M. That's awesome.
And the artists on all of them is Thomas Creeley and Rod Ramos. And I've just had a look before we started this episode, because I've never heard of those guys. And because Marvel UK did put out unique product and had UK-based artists working on that, it is official Marvel product, but it wasn't created in the US. So that's one of the interesting things. So this set, and I'll stop you before you get too excited. There wasn't a surfer. Sorry, buddy.
No, I saw it.
No,
I saw it and I rushed to find one. It doesn't exist.
There isn't one. So Thomas Creeley, I've literally just done like 2 minutes worth of internet research. So Thomas Creeley, which is spelled Crielly, looks to still be active. He's in Dunfermline, which is in Scotland. I found a Twitter for him: freelance tutor, illustrator, and graphic designer, working in a wide range of styles and always open to any offers. So I'm guessing that's the same guy. I don't think it can be anyone else. And Rod Ramos, does seem to be on the Marvel database, the fandom powered by Wikia. So let's just open that and see what he's done, because I've never heard of either of these two guys.
You're going to have to contact him and see if they have the original artwork.
I am. Right? Damn, you said that. We're going to have to edit it out. I'm going to have to hurry up. I've got 10 days to contact them and see if they've still got the original artwork.
No, I edit it out. No one needs to know.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so I need to. Yeah, I think Rod Ramos might be in the penciler, and he's in America. So I think the colorist is a UK guy, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, if this is the same guy, in fact.
I would definitely find these because they're crisp. I love that Mysterio, that Hobgoblin.
Yeah, they're really nice. They're beautifully done. They're a little thin.
So much fun.
Let me just hold it up next to a regular. I say regular trading card, but yeah, they are. Maybe
regular thickness to a trading card is what, 35?
Yeah, no, these are thinner than that. These are about 20, 25. So they are probably maybe a millimeter or two bigger than the format of the US cards that we normally talk about. Let me just quickly hold it up next to
Spider-Man looks awesome.
A Flair annual card. Yeah, it's bang on. It's exactly the same size. Very, very slightly, maybe a millimeter wider. But yeah, they're lovely cards. So hunt them down, folks. I bought the set of 12. Now, the reason it starts with number 13 is Marvel were doing another magazine at the time called Overkill, which was largely UK Marvel created characters.
Marvel you've talked to me about these. Yeah,
Marvel UK really, really tried. They really tried to kind of like come up with new stuff. And Death's Head, I think, came from the UK Marvel side of things. And there were loads. And so Overkill had trading cards on the front of. And I haven't managed to narrow down the issues yet because I kind of stopped looking once I figured out that they weren't. They were kind of the same set, but not. So cards 1 to 12 are Overkill Marvel UK characters.
Wow.
But I do find it interesting that the numbering is carried on because the Spider-Man set is clearly a different set, but it's but it's not. It's part of the same set, if you like. So I guess the way to think about this is a Marvel UK set, the second half of which just happens to feature Spider-Man characters.
Wow.
So yeah,
I love them. I'm obsessed.
Nice it's a really nice set.
Good colors, good positioning. Every character has their personality really being shown.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's very nice.
The layout on the back is really clean.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
It's nice. It's really nice. So they're nice little cards.
Very nice set. Yeah.
So that's kind of my pickup of the week. That little lot. One thing I didn't pick up this week, segue of the week. Although a lot of people have, is Marvel Premiere 2019.
Yes.
Is now out. Having previewed it on the episode a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's now out there. It's out in the wild. And from what I've seen, it's pretty tasty. I mean, it's not
pretty tasty.
We talked about, but
yeah, it's like almost $250 or $300 a box.
Yeah,
and then a case would be that times 6, so above upwards of $1,200. So about that. But it's pretty nice. It looks like I think the way to go with this set, if you are going to do it, in my opinion, would be to buy a case, not just a one-off box. Would you agree with that, Ian?
I think so. How many? Is it 6 boxes in a?
Yeah.
When we say box, it is a tin. So a box is a pack. Is the same.
Yeah.
So as we discussed last time. So
yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I think it's 6 tins per case.
Yeah. I guess it depends what you are in it for. So if you're a character collector, I wouldn't do that.
Right.
Unless you've got the cash and you don't mind spending it. If you're after a certain artist, then definitely buy a tin or a case.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, because there's pretty good spread from what I've seen. The people who've opened cases, I think we've had a couple. I know
we've had a couple of people.
Jake Glassbrenner, I think is how you pronounce his surname. Good evening, Jake.
Jake.
A couple of cases, which are on the MCCW group. It's a pretty decent spread of stuff. I think Matt Parks, also on the group, posted a couple of cases. He pulled a couple of bats, actually, a couple in a row.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're double or triple panels, which look pretty good.
Yeah.
So basically, you get in 5 cards in each. I think it's 5 cards, 5 or 6.
It's 5 cards.
That's right.
And yeah.
And yeah, at least two or three of those are sketches in each one, and then you got a base card, and then you got an insert card. So they're nice. The quality I've seen coming up, and there's not a massive amount popping up on eBay yet. Normally,
it's pretty limited. People are kind of like waiting it out.
Yeah, as we talk, we're maybe 6 days out from release, and by this point, for Marvel Masterpieces and Flair, you were scrolling through page and page and page and page and page on eBay. I mean, there was a lot there.
Yeah, so it's 6 boxes a case, 1 pack, a tin/box, and there's 5 cards, and one of those 5 cards is a sketch. And then on top of that, when you open the tin, you're either going to get a booklet sketch, a 3-panel sketch, a 4-panel sketch, or a 5x7 oversized sketch card.
Yeah. And of course, there are tiers. There are parallel color tiers to the base cards,
right?
Of which there are only 50.
So you get every base card. You have a full base set that you can collect, right, and they're all numbered to 100. There's a 50 card base set, and then you have parallels, and the parallels are cyan blue, which is numbered to 50, red foil numbered to 30, gold spectrum numbered to 15, purple foil numbered to 5, and black numbered, which is the 1 of 1.
So I'm going to start with that. I've seen 3 blacks pop up on eBay.
I saw. What were they again? I mean, I saw.
Well, the Thanos.
I thought it was Thanos. Yeah.
And that fella. Name escapes me now who pulled that, but the fellow is going to build a rainbow around it, because if you're going to go for a rainbow and you've got the 1,
and you already started at the 1,
exactly, so the rest of it
should
be gravy. So
the Phoenix is on there.
Yeah, the Phoenix is on there. Now the ones that are popping up on eBay seem to be going on at $999 buy nows or best offers, which is, I guess given the limitation of the set and the fact that character collectors are what they are, I guess you've got to start somewhere. But I think what's happened is the first person to do that, the following 2 that got listed, clearly thought, well, I'll have some of that. I'll do the same thing. So
yeah,
whether they sell at that, I don't know. But
yeah, I think numbers are weird. I mean, we won't go into this, but I think numbers are weird. I think you have to take into account how much a case would cost.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So $1,000 is the way to start. I don't know what these things will sell for or what people will end up being okay with purchasing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's the number I would think they would start with.
Yeah. I guess my question to you is, if that was a Silver Surfer, if he was in the set and that 1 of 1 went up on eBay.
You want to know my number? I'll tell you my number. You want me to tell you my number?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to tell you my number. I can't trust these people. I don't trust those people out there. Yeah. With the next set he's in, and then someone's like, "Well, I heard Norton's going to pay this, so I'll give it to him." Honestly, it's weird because the autos, the Silver Spectrum autos for MM16, go for 18 tier 4. You look at
$1,800
for a tier 4 auto. Yeah, maybe more. That's not even a joke. That's what those are the prices I hear that people are paying.
You can keep it.
Yeah, I know it's a lot. I don't know. It's just personal preference. I'm not price shaming. I get it. Personally, I think once you're up at the $2,000 range for a card, I don't know. My saying is you do original art at that price point.
Yeah,
but it's just outside of my means.
It's not my cup of tea. People may. I'm not going to say people will pay that, because I don't look at the sold.
The people that will pay that will be the ones who get to have it.
Exactly. But if there is someone who wants to pay that, then hats off to them. Different strokes for different folks, I guess.
I understand. It is the 1 of 1. I get that.
Exactly. Yeah. There's only one of them out there.
There's only one of them out there, and if you need it, you need it. And character collectors, it's rough because the one of ones for character collectors, that's kind of like not only a grail, but it's kind of like the only audience for that one of one. Because no one's going to make a one of one set. So that one of one is literally just there for the character collectors of that character.
Yes. Which is why I'm so glad that Black Cat isn't in the base cards of this.
That's why I'm glad Silver Surfer's not in the base card. It's such a premium set that you're paying.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but like,
sorry, carry on.
I was just gonna say, I really would love to see a Silver Surfer on a 5x7 sketch card by an artist I like. I mean, that I would pay upwards to like 5-6. Just for that kind of sketch.
$6, then hats off to you.
I mean, that's the price I would want. What, they don't sell for that?
Yeah. So the interesting thing is, you talk about character collectors, but I've seen a few listings for this character. There's a character in the set called Synapse. I've never heard of Synapse before.
Synapse.
Yeah, and this is a base card.
I haven't seen her card.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a female. But anyway, I'm just looking at a listing for an upper deck base card of Synapse, which looks like a lady.
How do you spell it?
On the artwork. Synapse. Let me zoom into the back, and it will tell me about this character.
Oh, she looks awesome! What a cool design.
Here we go. So, real name Emily Guerrero. Abilities: telepathy, mind control, inhuman physiology. We've all known some of those. Enhanced agility and endurance. Personally vouched for by Steve Rogers and newly recruited to the Avengers Unity division, the Inhumans Synapse. Okay, so Inhumans. Proved her merit when she assisted in taking down the mimicking menace of the super adaptoid. What a brilliant sentence. The mimicking menace of the super adaptoid. Brilliant. When it attacked Avengers Mansion and thwarted the machinations of the Shredded Man, her own grandfather.
Funny enough, she was featured in Marvel Flair.
Just not a character I've heard of it. It's probably more recent Avengers because I
think it's more recent Avengers. I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I'm only just waiting for Avengers Volume 1. I've not really ever really done the Avengers in terms of reading outside of the movies. So
no, I mean neither.
But I'm just thinking, if that's such a new character, is there a character collector for Synapse?
I think that they're hoping to grow them. I mean,
Synapse.
We've talked. And here's the funny part. We've been talking about this, about Marvel Annual and how they have like the updates for the comic books and they bring new characters into trading cards. I'm looking on the listings on eBay and there she is in Marvel Annual.
Wow.
So there's a nice little pattern there, I think, which I hope is what they're doing because that seems to be the most logical and most ingenious way of kind of getting. Yeah, here it is. Uncanny Avengers, Marvel Annual, 2018 number 48. And $1, there she is with a cover in the background and she looks really cool.
Oh, okay. So if you want to jump on a new character, now's the time to get your Synapse going.
And there's some other ones like Wonder Man. He's not a new character, but he's he's in every set now.
He's my boy.
Yeah, he's your boy.
He's my my one of one Marvel Masterpieces 2018.
Damn right.
Red Spectrum.
Yeah, he's out there. Hey, and there are really cool sketch cards on here on eBay listing. I really love this artist here. I'm going to let you pronounce it. Since
I'm not sure on the pronunciation there. I think it's it's spelled T-O-U. I'm not sure if that's Toe or Toy and the surname is V-U-E, which is, I read that as View.
I read that as View too.
So I'm going to say Toy View. Maybe
I'm a huge fan of that person's work. Yeah. I like their 5x7. They have the Lady Deadpool, right?
Who is that character?
It's not Lady Deadpool.
It's a nuts card.
It's a nuts card. She looks like Lady Deadpool.
Would come out with.
Yeah, I love it. She looks like, oh man, it looks so good. It looks like Lady Deadpool, but she has white and pink instead of just Deadpool's outfit. So I might be wrong, but I just like his art style. I really do.
It's nice. Nice.
I'm waiting for him to do a surfer. He can't because it's a banned character. But I'm waiting for that. I like this aesthetic, the kind of sketchy, painted. I don't know. That stuff just gets me. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. We'll have to grab a copy of that image because we'll have to put that on the tasting notes, of course, so that folk at home can see what we are looking at. There it
just got it for you.
I'm actually watching Norrin uses. I love your wallpaper, by the way.
Oh, isn't that nice?
That is cool on the gang.
Isn't that really cool?
We like that.
I really dig it.
My goodness me.
It's a nice piece.
Yeah, there's some really nice stuff popping up on eBay.
Yeah,
and
it's
on
not
the
much, which is the pretty cool thing.
Yeah, there's some reasonable stuff. I mean, someone the other day said something. It's like, where are the really quality things? And I know what they were asking. They were saying, the Mick and Mac Glebes, the Malik
Akar,
of which there is a sketch that's popped up on eBay this morning.
And some have popped up on like if you look at YouTube box breaks, you're going to see a lot of these cards kind of popping up.
Exactly, and a Freddie, and which is fine. But I'm looking at this, and I'm no disrespect to those artists, I'm looking at this, and in my eyes, I said there have been an awful lot of high quality sketches already pulled, because friend of the podcast, Michael Munshaw, Ron Leary, Jalen Warner, their cards are popping and they're absolutely incredible.
PJ, one of my favorites.
Yeah. So
PJ, there's two on here, Gladiator and Apocalypse, done by PJ. And the Spider-Gwen is sick.
Awesome. So there's some really good sketch cards popping up as well.
Yeah. Mville.
Yeah, I don't know who that artist is, but
I don't know. But she's beautiful. She looks absolutely lovely.
It's nice stuff. Spider-Gwen is a rabbit hole I could have gone down.
I was wondering if you were going to go down that hole, because she's pretty awesome.
I can't. I tried with Marvel Masterpieces, and it almost bankrupted me, and then I just kind of lost the.
Rancho. That's the other.
Rancho.
Killed it.
Yeah.
Like, that looks so good.
Daredevil Electra. You're gonna have to save these pictures for me.
I'll save this one too.
These pictures for me.
I'll take care of all of it.
So
I'll be on the tasty notes. Pull my weight around here.
The tasty note. Tasty notes. Oh, I love a tasty note.
All of the tasty notes.
So I was going to also talk about the base card art. I think is astonishing.
You know what? Probably the really best. Solid. I'm gonna, of my aesthetic wise, I would say it's one of the best.
It's the only Marvel Premiere set that I have wanted the base card art, the base cards for the base card art.
Right. Not to say the other stuff wasn't great. I mean, it really was.
No. But just for me
too. Yeah.
This has it just feels like it's got a design, a thought process. It hangs together really well.
It feels
vibrant. It's well proportioned. The poses are good. Some of the characters, I've genuinely seen some of the characters in poses that are kind of like, wow, okay, that's really nicely done.
Very much capturing their personalities
in that kind of style. I'm now looking at the Malik Akar Thanos.
Yeah, this one's recent
on eBay this morning, and it's a 4-panel. And it's
I think it's 4. Yeah, it's a 4-panel. It's beautiful. I got you for the tasty notes,
I suppose.
Yeah,
thank you.
Of course.
So it's good. It's really good. The Written in the Stars, I'm not sure about.
You know what? They look a lot better in person. Like, I've seen some videos, and they're super glittery, super holographic. They're very nice.
Wow. Okay.
I know, it's crazy. I've seen, because somebody, I forgot whose video I was watching, so shout out to people who are box breaking, maybe Cards Infinity or Blowout. But they were actually turning the card, which is something I really greatly appreciate when people photograph these cards. And you could see the glitter and the shimmer. Yes. It's a very nice piece. By the way, I did want to bring this up to everybody. This is speculation. Don't know if it's true or not.
Go on.
I think Gambit is off the ban list for sketch cards.
I've seen a couple.
I've seen more than a couple. So there has to be something has to have changed in terms of Gambit, because he's on the 4 panels and the 5x7s, not necessarily the sketch card base set, but he's on the bigger booklets and 5x7 sketches, and he's up there. I mean, I'll save this one for the tasty notes too. But
I've seen that one. That's good.
They look good.
That's a nice Gambit. I love Gambit. That's a 4-panel again.
Yeah, this is a 4-panel Gambit.
Look at the back of that. I didn't see the back of that before. So it's Gambit, and he's obviously playing cards are his thing. And on the playing cards he's holding, you can see X-Men characters.
This is the card to get. You have Storm, Beast, Jubilee, Storm, and Archangel.
Oh, that's Archangel. Where's Beast?
Beast. So you see the blue here?
Barely. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
That's subtle. Yeah. No, that's
it's there though. It's pretty nice of them. I mean,
who's
honestly,
that guy?
This is a great price too.
So the good thing about this Premiere set, there are artists I've never heard of. So Matty Denham, I'm going to be seeking you out, be you a male or female, because I'm not going to assume from the first name that you are a gentleman. I'm gonna seek you out. We're going to invite you to the group. We're going to invite you to come here and let us hear your dulcet tones, which I think is probably the best way to begin. Certainly with a lot of these things. I've seen the colour boxes. I've seen a fair few of them out there. I haven't seen a Black Cat one pop up for sale anywhere yet. Although
me neither. I've been looking for you.
Yeah, Upper Deck did put it on their post.
So really?
On their post that they put out when the set dropped, they included images of some of the cards, and they included an image of the Black Cat shadow box. So I know what I'm looking for.
Wow,
it's nice. It's nice. I will get it because it's Black Cat.
Yeah.
But
I have a feeling that's gonna be more impressive in person.
Yeah, I think it'll be more impressive in person. I'm not. I think I've only got one shadow box card. I remember being tempted by them back in the Rittenhouse days, because I think it was Rittenhouse that maybe started doing them. And Marvel, one of the Marvel Universe sets, I think, from Rittenhouse had.
I think it's Marvel Premiere 2012 that I have my shadow box of the Surfer, but I don't know if they did it before. I'm sure you're right.
They started before. I think the Marvel Universe. I think there was a Marvel Universe set in 2011. I want to say from Rittenhouse.
I'm sure you're right.
You say I'm sure I'm right. Kevin number 2 steered us correctly. He sent a little.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because he started from the beginning, so he was only on episode 3, which was our Marvel Masterpieces '92 discussion.
Yeah,
and I think in that we said that it was the first. I think we must have said something along the lines of it was the first set to feature original art that was done for the set. But he actually correctly said it was actually Marvel Universe 1990.
What a beast!
Which is absolutely right. So I can't remember exactly what we said. I haven't gone back to listen. So we don't always get it right. We're not. We are passionate about this, and we are educated, but we're not experts. We really don't.
I mean, but that's the great thing about the community and the voice messages.
Is people
please let us know.
So
yeah, because we're always happy to bring people on who know more than us, for sure.
Please bring it on. The one thing I didn't ask Kevin number 1 last week is, did sketch cards start with Marvel sets, or did they exist before?
Did sketch cards start with Marvel? What was that? Say again.
Well, okay, so last week when we spoke to Kevin number 1, and we started doing the history of sketch cards, and we talked about the Fleer Ultra Spider-Man 97, Marvel Silver Age, Marvel Creators Collection, those being the first sets that featured sketch cards that were then called sketchographs. Is that the first time that type of card appeared in any trading cards of any kind?
I believe so, 100%. I'm honestly 1997 Spider-Man Ultra or whatever it was called. Yes, I believe that was the very first introduction.
Certainly Marvel. Yeah.
Certainly Marvel of sketch cards. Actually, it's funny, on Blowout and then on Facebook, I was trying to compose a list of every series of Marvel cards that came out that had a sketch card on them.
Oh.
And the very first one on the list is 1997 Fleer Ultra Spider-Man. Yes. And then people started helping me compile that list. So they're at
that list with us and therefore with the group.
You know what? Let me find that post so I can copy and paste and don't have to type all this up.
Please.
Definitely. Yeah, and very nice gentleman.
Notes as well.
Yeah, a very nice gentleman helped me start compiling it. So it's not complete, but we know for a fact that it's 1997 Fleer Ultra Spider-Man began with something called sketchographs.
Okay. But so if that's the first time sketch cards ever appeared, so I guess my question was, did sketch cards first appear in a 1984 Topps baseball series, for example? Because we know where they started for Marvel, but that Marvel 97 set that you talked about, was that the first time that sketch cards appeared anywhere, or just the first time that they appeared in Marvel? That's the thing I'm not sure about.
I'm not sure either. I'm sure for some maybe non-sport sets that came out before that had to deal with animation, like I always see The Simpsons floating around. You ever see that? Like there's sketch cards for like The Simpsons, and you see like Bart's head or something like that. I know it's a pretty expensive card. I always see that floating around. In terms of baseball, maybe, I don't know. I think baseball really focused on autographs. I don't know. I don't know necessarily why they would do sketches, so I can't see content matching the theme of the inserts. But I don't know. Maybe I wonder if Marvel. It's very curious. I'm very interested by that, actually. That'd be really cool.
That we need to get. Obviously, we'll talk to Kevin number one again, and there's a number of other experts in sketch cards that we are going to be talking to. So it's certainly a question that will come up again. General feelings about Premiere, though, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm kind of don't have the money for it at the moment, and I probably wouldn't have gone in. Haven't seen any Black Cat sketches actually come up for sale. I've only seen the 2 that were from the same case, actually, that Matt posted on the group, which I'm absolutely fine with, because if they can hold off appearing on eBay for another 2 weeks until next payday at least, it'll be really good.
This is the podcast letting everybody know, please hold off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, please. But apart from that, it's looking like a nice set, and I think people seem generally happy with it. What they've broken,
I think so. Yeah, I think people are into it. I think people are happy with what they're doing. From all the box breaks I'm seeing, I definitely think if you're trying to hit one of those bigger sketch card artists, which is not necessarily needed. A lot of good work was done by many sketch card artists. So buying a tin/box is also the way to go. But I'm seeing a lot of what people consider bigger hits happening in cases.
Interesting.
I think they allocated maybe particular artists in certain cases. So I would think about that as a possibility if you're going to go in and you're looking for a big artist.
Yeah. So I might when it hits e-packs, I may go in for a pack stroke box. Obviously, I won't get the nice tin to show.
The nice tin.
But I certainly wouldn't feel shortchanged by anything that I'm seeing appearing from the pack.
No, not at all.
Broken. So, not in any way, shape, size, or form. We're probably needing to wrap this episode. We've covered a lot of ground this week. I kind of feel like we've had a catch-up week, which is all good. Just a shout out to everyone who's done intros for us so far, who's on the creator spectrum. As ever, we'd love to feature anyone else at the intros for the podcast. So anyone who hears us, who does work for Marvel, be it sketch cards or base cards or even comic books, more than happy to have your dulcet tones at the front of this episode if you're up for doing it. Also, voicemails. I love getting those voicemails. It's just a nice little surprise. Yeah. So please do go to anchor.fm/MCCP. There's a leave message button there, I believe. Leave us a message, short as little as short or as long as you wish, and we'll play it on the show. And also, character collectors. Anyone fancy just sending us a missive or dropping us a message on Anchor? That'd be great. And apart from that, I'm going to talk about we're going to talk about red flashes, but not this week. And a red flasher isn't a communist perv. It is a
oh gosh. Okay.
I think that's probably a good place to leave it, don't you?
That's great. That's a great place to leave it.
All right. Coming soon. Communist pervs. Enjoy collecting, everybody.
Enjoy collecting. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast. You can subscribe via our home on anchor.fm/MCCP. Leave us a message via that link with questions, comments, or just to say hi, and we may even play on the show. We're also on iTunes, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms. Our podcast is at the MCC Pod on Facebook and Twitter, and And you can find links on our Facebook page to the two groups MCCW, Marvel Card Collectors Worldwide, and MMC, Marvel Masterpieces Collectors. On Instagram, find us at MMCollectors and at Sketch Card Hive. The great music we use is called Rocket Power by Kevin MacLeod. Thanks to the collectors, artists and creators who support the Marvel Cards Fan Collective. We'll see you next time, and remember, it's a small hobby but a fun one. Make mine Marvel and enjoy collecting.